The sad spectacle in Charlottesville. The idea any good people would stand near this man and that sign, no matter what the stated purpose of the protest, is beyond belief. And I can't imagine wanting to be alone in private, let alone in public, and be identified with him. August 16th, 2017. I want to talk about the protest that happened in Charlottesville on August the 13th, 2017. And I took so long because I was looking for non-commentary footage to get my own version of what I thought happened. And I think after 2 days, I've got enough to finally say the whole thing is disgusting. It seems like the organizer went out of his way to create as offensive a protest group as he possibly could, wearing Ku Klux Klan garb, including hoods, walking around with flags of the Nazi regime in the 1930s. Clearly, they were intending to offend. I myself am concerned about the sanitizing of history, not from being proud of the heritage, but the ideal that an action taken today to address feelings usually ends up with extreme results, like changing history books in a couple of generations. Who knows? We may decide, or someone may decide, that it's better to give our version of history by using our level of morality against what they did back then, which would not give us a very good idea of history. So, protesting the removal, I did not mind, of cries of hate on Jews and other vile comments, along with horribly offensive signs, it was clear the organizer, if not all the participants, intended to offend as many people as they possibly could. They wanted the spectacle. I see Trump's comments, and I just have to ask, if there were true protesters just to protest the censoring of history, they can't be that great a people, having been willing to walk with such offensive individuals in the first place. You are known by the company you keep. It's bad enough children aren't being taught that, but adults that can't understand that, I find it hard to sympathize with. If I'd wanted to protest, I would not have gotten out of the car for that freak show. This is my concern over the statue. I understand the intent of erecting the statue was to honor the person. It does not mean it must be what it stands for today. I hear the word Civil War, and I am as ashamed as I hope every American is, no matter of color or location. The fact it took a war to fulfill the first 3 words of the Declaration of Independence almost 100 years after it was written is a tragedy by any standard. Over time, completely reasonable decisions made for expediency without consideration for future generations and humanity's severe lack of memory on the past, especially if it is embarrassing or shameful, means that steps that we today would not agree with will become reasonable in a few generations. Each small step adds up till the whole thing can be as bad as our worst possible nightmare today. It's not that I'm showing pride in the heritage. It's not a source of pride, but shame. I look at those reminders and think, please God, never again. Many want it gone, so we don't have to think about it. But I'd rather live with the shame of actions taken by my ancestors than the knowledge I might have caused another generation to lose so much because we wanted to hide our shame. It's for future generations, our grandchildren, or even further away, might suffer by our rash decision today. God willing, for once, we won't be stuck hearing another generation's leader cry out in a speech, "Never again." Thank you. Would you want to take a chance having your picture taken next to this flag? Not the rebel flag, not the Confederacy flag, that flag. Would a good person stand in this lineup? Knowing what that emblem and cheat stands for, would a good person want to take a chance being seen associated with that person? I understand people might make mistakes they regret, but honestly, how could any person feel safe walking next to the words shouted like was shouted by people such as this? Could a good person honestly stand next to this insanity and still walk away feeling clean? If you can honestly answer yes, then you're not a person I want to know.